Hello everyone and welcome back to Neopets, the Darkest Faerie. Last time we made our way through the farm road, continuing on our journey towards Meridell, way off in the distance, which has led us to the outskirts, right outside the city. Think of it as kind of the city limits. Less things to do here, but still a lot to really look at. For instance, more Crocobecks. One thing that wasn't really showed off last time when fighting these little buggers is the fact that they are able to steal stuff from you. They have a chance of stealing something whenever they hit you, and they will hold it into their talons for a limited amount of time. Chances are you're not going to be able to get the stuff that they stole from you back by the time it disappears out of their talons, because it's only a couple seconds. However, first guy we meet in the outskirts, is a prince, for one. Two, he has a problem. Apparently he was stopped by bandits on his way. As repayment, take whatever you want from the bandits. So he's not going to give us anything? Alright, well apparently the prince has a golden rose that was taken from him, and apparently they are nearby somewhere. Interesting. So at this point with the outskirts, we have 3 different ways to go. First off, let's check the left path and see what we have here. Alright. Take a look at this little guy. There was one of these guys on Farm Road, but I didn't really do anything with him. Because he wasn't really important and he wouldn't be able to show off what he can do. This guy, though, I'll feed him. All around the world in the game, you're going to find these little guys. They're called pets, who are pretty much pets to the Neopets. And it just gets even worse and worse from there, depending on how much you dig. Further along this path as well, I think this is the only time something called the conscience comes up. Tor's conscience, in this particular case, ever comes up in order to make him turn the other way. No real reason to go up to this north path up here. Not just yet, anyway. Especially going into the Shadowglen Woods. No real reason to go. But anyway, back to pets. Depending on the pet that you feed a restorative item to, and they are picky about what you feed them, they will give you added bonuses to your stats, whether that be attack, defense, or any others. We will be seeing what different pets do as we go through our journey. This one, the Doggle Fox, is actually a pretty good pet to have for the early stages of the game, especially what we're going to be doing now with this video, because he boosts our attack, which is always going to be helpful. The one back on Farm Road, which the name escapes me, but I believe he is a Golion, he boosts defense. This little guy here is a Morthog. He seems to be glowing. It's a little bit strange. But the reason why we go out into this pretty dangerous part of the giant river here is for a 4-leaf clover and a clover patch. This is the first time that we're seeing what happens when we pick up a 4-leaf clover. Because we've picked up one from a quest, and one others. No, I think this is the second one. But you can see on the left side of the screen there that that's where the clovers go. In a clover meter, that I guess I could really call it, what it does is that it increases your luck. I mentioned that luck was kind of an invisible stat in the game. What luck kind of does is, depending on how many clovers you have and the higher the clover meter, your rewards from random areas like grass or bushes gets higher. So that means either a greater chance for higher Neopoints to come out of grass, or in terms of bushes, a higher chance for an actual item to come out of bushes. Handy in a pinch, pretty much. We'll be definitely going back there once there's more of an important thing. The bridge doesn't look all that great, so let's actually take a look on the right path to see what's going on here. Well, we can definitely cut underneath the bridge. Totally. But it's going to be over on this side here that we're going to be going into what is an area that really isn't actually charted on our map. Leads into this little area here. It's only really denoted by, like, rough mountain shapes right over there, but might as well head on inside. I mean, why not? Not like self-preservation or sidetracking has gotten me anywhere bad, right? Well, actually, speak of the devil. Yes, unfortunately, this place is going to be exactly where that, prince's stuff went. What is known as the Bandit's Cave. Going through this place recklessly is actually a really bad idea because, this first little area, bandits love appearing right behind you and getting the drop on you, which is not something that we need at this point. Again, my biggest weakness with this game is understanding what moats are really good to use in different situations. But it seems to me that having the leaf moat on your armor, what little armor you have, because we're still in rags, actually helps out a great deal. What would also help, of course, is the Doggle Foxes give us an additional strength boost, so we can do a tiny little bit more damage. They have made themselves kind of comfy. Still sitting on boxes, though. I guess the bandits have a little bit more priority than just, like, having actual chairs to sleep on. Getting double-teamed like this as well is a really bad idea. I don't think there's really ever a situation in this game where fighting more than one enemy is a really good idea. So, just be careful. Depending on how well you're really going through this game, you might have less restorative items than I do, which is, gonna be troublesome. Just say that. Especially with the myriad of moves the bandits and the thieves have. Thieves can hit you from a distance, they combo more, whereas the bandits, the big brutes, are a lot more just like, they love crushing you, pretty much. They're all about strength and brute force. Just still no fun. However, if you're here just for the quest, you don't have to go into the Bandit's Cave too far, because the Golden Rose is just right here. Why they would take it other than it being golden and shiny? I don't really know. Especially keep it where they sleep. Other than for guarding purposes? Oh well, they stole the rose, therefore they get no seats. So after this point, I don't believe there's actually any more bandits in this area. You more or less get towards the thieves. The last move that the thieves really have is the ability to pretty much, like, gut you through. And if they succeed in that, you have there's a pretty good chance of you dropping some Neopoints that you have on you. Generally, it's not much, but just keep an eye out for that, because sometimes it can be more than you might think. Especially with Neopoints having a bad tendency of kind of just like phasing in through walls or big objects, which means that you lose them forever. Now, like I said last time, in the previous video when going through the root cellar, this is definitely another area where darkness can be a little bit of a problem depending on where you're playing this game or the time of day. Speaking of darkness, we have our smoke moat. We just picked up the second level for the darkness moats, the shadow moat. Not really helpful in this particular area, but we'll find a use for it eventually. There's one last guy way up on top of that rafter up there. Luckily, this is definitely a game where enemy placement kind of makes sense. Because there's definitely other games where they would put enemies out of reach and you just have to deal with them. Good thing about this game is that there's generally a way, in some way, shape, or form, in order to get up to areas where other enemies are. And doing that generally leads to some kind of reward. My doggo fox is a little bit stiff. Just working like clockwork. Oh well, anyway. Okay, those boxes not high enough. Come on, Tor, have some leg strength, jeez. Alright, let's try this way. Get some multi-level going on here, there we go. Totally should be able to get up here. Deal with this guy. Multiple jabbing is actually doing pretty well. It's a little unorthodox and not really all that great, but it's doing well. Now, in terms of mechanics, getting across here shouldn't be that hard. But the problem is that Neopets does not have fall damage, and it doesn't have a good way for you to actually land properly on a box. Because whenever Tor is jumping from a high area, he tends to roll a tiny little bit forward. More forward than you think he might be able to. So you have to judge distance of how far Tor is going to roll once he actually hits the bottom. A reward, though, for getting all the way up here. Oh, Doggo Fox, are you really interested in the light? Ah! Nope, you've just went right through me. Okay. But yes, we have a light mote, now we have a sun mote. More powerful light. Honestly, it should be pretty good to use in the Bandit Cave, so I might as well give it a shot. Especially because of its effect. I see goodies. I also see a guy. Whoop. Nope, it's a trap! Apparently what the bandits have done is made a big den full of, Draconax. Apparently. These little purple dudes. So, getting my magic completely filled up, charging the sun mote will make any enemy that has made contact with it get stunned momentarily, which is super great because a lot of the enemies, especially in this area, and especially Draconax in particular, love dodging away from you. They are incredibly infuriating to fight because they love cheap tactics like this. Look at that! He just rolled all the way up against the wall and gets so many invincibility frames from his tumbling backwards that it's ridiculous. Oh, there's my buddy. Shouldn't let you... There we go. Can't let you jump around, can I? Yeah, boy. Alright, now we gotta find our way out of here, which doesn't look very promising. Unless we go about breaking stuff. Strange that a wooden sword would have enough power in order to do that, but I'm not complaining. Especially when the exit leads us to exactly where we want to be. Apparently their treasure hoard. Inside is an interesting item, a speckled neg. The speckled neg is actually the least rare out of all the negs. Which, you're wondering, okay, why does that have an N? Pretty much just Neopets and egg. Just put an N there and it's all great. It's an item that restores both health and magic at the same time. And I did not mean to hit that. Ooh. Interesting. Sometimes I don't get this out of the chest. I should mention that there's a slight chance that something else can come out of a chest, but generally it's the exact same every single time I've played. That moat is our wind moat, which is a really strange one because we have fog and then it's wind, but it looks a lot more like it's sparking. But when it's a wind air elemental, I guess the wind would be the most appropriate for that. But with that, the bandits' cave is actually all clear of bandits. Perfectly great. So that means we can get out of here. Our spoils weren't really all that great, to be honest. Sure, we got a couple moats, but in terms of everything else, not. I wouldn't say that the rewards really justify the means of getting that rose and actually going a little bit further. But oh well, what more can you do? Other than get out into some fresh air and some light. That's always good. I think that's the other thing about this game I really like. Sometimes you spend so much time in underground areas or caves or whatnot that are just kind of really brown that you get out into big fields and the towns. That's all colorful, like the starberry. There is very few bushes like this in the game, but what starberries do is, like the tricados, they're the second tier of our magic restorative items. I heard a crow, or crookback, there he is. Get down on the ground. Fight me like a man! Bird. Oh, there's the other one too. It's weird that they were so far apart, but again, I mentioned how they can just kind of stray away from the initial area a long time. Stun you. Or, nope, I'm out of magic. Great. And our dog fox is actually almost out of health. You do need to keep feeding him like I've been doing throughout this entire thing constantly. Because if you don't, he will have the potential of completely disappearing on you if he's off screen. Like he's trying to right now. Oh well, at least you give me 350 Neopoints. That's alright, I guess.
Come on.
You want me to deliver the rose? Well, I guess you're kind of stuck here with your wagon and whatnot. But yeah, our quest isn't over with the prince. Turns into the golden rose. This quest is something that we are going to have for a very long time because we have to deliver this rose to Brightvale Castle. A place that we are not going to see a whole lot of. And he almost has done his health. How dare you zip off when it immediately leaves? And away, in a flash, he is gone. And I think with his departure, that pretty much spells out the end of this video. See you next time, everyone, as we deal with this bridge. Why is it like this? I have no clue. Hopefully we'll get to Meridell, though. See you next time, everyone.